And this video is going to be about the giggity problem. Here goes. Uh, the giggity problem is like, let's say there's the before the narcissistic abuse from the ex-girlfriend, a giggity problem was not a problem. Like, but after it, like, there's a few problems. There's wanting to fulfill biological urges, because but the problem is you're afraid you're gonna get attached, and unless you have a beer first to prevent getting attached, then I don't know. But the other problem is part of you wants to fulfill biological urges, but another part of you is like afraid because it's afraid to get attached. And you're like, oh no, what if I get attached to her? And then what? And then what if she leaves? And then you're like, oh no, now she's gone. And you're like, then that's why you, and plus social anxiety and past trauma from narcissistic abuse. But you're like, and if you look like a dweeb, it's worse. And then you gotta wait till you look cool again. But then what? You want a girlfriend because you want to like have something that's secure, so that you can have something to fall back on. You're like, oh, I have a girlfriend, so if anything goes wrong when I'm being all quagmiry and doing what Quagmire does, then if things go wrong, you're like, oh, I can still go back to the girlfriend. But if you don't have a girlfriend, you're like, oh no, I have nothing to fall back on. So I'm afraid. And so it, and the other part is there's also societal pressures to fulfill biological urges. There's biological pressure and the societal pressure. Societal pressure states that you must fulfill biological urges as much as you can with dozens and dozens of women. Otherwise, they're going to judge you negatively. But here you are, afraid to do that because you don't have a girlfriend to fall back on if things go wrong. So you're all alone and you're like afraid, what if I try and fail? And then you end up all alone without a girlfriend because you met this other chick and she didn't want to date you. She just wanted a one night stand. You're like, no, everything's bad. Unless you had a few beers first. But if you had a girlfriend, you're like, I have a girlfriend. I have something to fall back on. But you don't want one night stand. You want the girl to stick around for at least a week or a month or something. So you want something a little more consistent. Like, but society, like, they don't care. They're pushing the hookup culture where you hook up with random strangers one night and then they disappear the next day, and then you're left out on the street, and then you get like stabbed to death by some crazy psycho. That's not what you want. You want, you're kind of like, you want normal girls who stick around for a few days or a few weeks, so that then you can get a few girls like that are better, and you're like, no crazy maniac's gonna come at me with a knife or a gun or something. If you never grew up on the south side, you don't know what I'm talking about. You're like, but this hustle culture is dangerous because then you see on the news all the time. Some guy got killed by some other guy who was on crack. It's because of this hookup culture with random strangers you don't even know who who associate with people that are like very criminal. That's not what you want. You want to fulfill biological urges a little bit, but society is like, oh no, you can't only fulfill them sometimes. You have to fulfill them all the time, constantly, forever. Otherwise, we're gonna slap our label on you. And isn't and then people want to brag about, oh, we're such an evolved species, yet want to force you to like act like an animal all the time and lower baseline instincts instead of transcending it and moving into a higher power, higher baseline thinking. So much for evolved species. But yeah, you wanting something more stable, like the girls who stick around, doesn't